Hi, I'm Sean with Taylor's Tastries. For today's Baking Tips 101, let's talk about baking strips. Baking strips, also known as cake strips or baking belts, are long fabric or silicone strips that can be wrapped around the outside of a cake pan before baking. They are designed to help create cakes with flat, even tops and prevent excessive doming or humps in the center of the cake. When baking a cake, the edges of the pan heat up more quickly than the center. This causes the edges of the cake to set and rise faster than the center, leading to a domed or uneven top. Baking strips help to counteract this by insulating the sides of the pan, which slows down the heating of the edges. This allows the cake to bake more evenly, resulting in a level top. Here's how to use baking strips. Prepare your cake batter as usual and preheat your oven to the recommended temperature. Measure the circumference of your cake pan. Baking strips need to be long enough to wrap around the sides of the pan. Soak the baking strips in water for a few minutes. This helps to keep them moist during baking, which further aids in even heating. Squeeze out any excess water from the baking strips, leaving them damp but not dripping. Wrap the baking strips around the outside of the cake pan, making sure they are snugly secured and cover the entire height of the pan. If you're using fabric strips, you can secure them with safety pins or clips. Place the prepared cake pan with the baking strips into the preheated oven and bake according to the recipe instructions. The moist baking strips create a barrier between the heat of the oven and the sides of the cake pan, allowing the cake to bake more evenly. The reduced temperature at the edges of the pan helps the center of the cake to catch up, resulting in a more level and evenly baked cake. It's important to note that baking strips are typically used for larger cakes that take longer to bake, such as layer cakes or sheet cakes. Using baking strips is an optional technique, but it can be beneficial if you're aiming for cakes with a flat, professional-looking appearance.